This video is going to be for Design and Communication Graphics PN 4025 for week 5. The topic we're going to be dealing with this week is going to be rotation and inclination of solids. Now this topic itself is not going to be anything new. It's going to be a combination of different topics that we've previously covered. There's going to be some auxiliary views brought into it. There's going to be some junior cert cycle topics brought into it, such as transformation geometry, and then something as simple as completing an elevation plan and end view for very basic objects. So as you can see here, here's a few examples of some of the objects that we're going to be dealing with throughout the lab. As you can see on the left hand side, it's just a cone that has fallen flat on its curved surface. You can see in the center a cube that is inclined and rotated, and then you can see on the far right hand side you can see a square base pyramid lying down on its side face, having its apex touching the horizontal plane. Now what we're going to be dealing with mainly is our rotations and our inclinations. So a rotation is a circular movement of an object around a center or a point of rotation. Now this can also be called the central point of rotation, whatever you'd like to call it. Just ensure that when you've identified it that you have annotated it in your drawing so that I know that you know where the center of rotation is. And then we're also going to be dealing with inclinations, so an angle between two different planes. Now, the center of rotation, this should be familiar to all of you. It's junior cert cycle topic in transformation geometry, and it would be known as rotational symmetry. Same idea, you have a central point of rotation, you have your object itself, and it gets rotated around that point. On the right hand side there you can see a little image, a moving image, and you can see the circles outside being rotated around a central point of that larger inner circle. Now what I want to do is give you a few different examples on completing these types of drawings. So what I've done is basically put together a series of example questions that I run through myself, explaining how to get the desired solution. As you can see there, I've also added in the final solution in a pictorial image from SolidWorks. As well as that, I have used my SolidWorks feature to break it off into 4 different views, so you can see the elevation, you can see the plan, you can see the end view. And then after that you have the drafted drawing, which is going to run through the video itself, and then I've included the finished solution as well. And then the same thing for the next question, this time dealing with basically an object with a curved surface, which tends to be harder when you're dealing with rotations and inclinations. As you can see below here in the finished solution, when you're dealing with a curved surface, the annotation basically of the different points is very important to be able to locate them within the drawing. As well as that, I have another one here, just using a variety of methods of asking the question itself, which you should all read through and watch the videos for, because for a lot of these questions, the biggest trick in it is breaking down the question and seeing what they're actually asking you to do. And then I have one more video there, and then we have our first activity, as you can see here, which is similar to our last activity. So make sure that you watch our last example activity and then complete this one. And then we have this activity here, which is a bit different to the examples that I've given, but with the knowledge that you gain throughout the lab by watching those videos, or engaging with those videos and the content that I've laid out in the course site, this activity should be no problem as well. Like always, go back to your checklist at the end of each lab. Ensure that you have all your activities completed that are for submission, so activity 1 and activity 2, as well as that you remember to complete the principal sheet for that week and submit all the elements by Sunday, end of week 5. Now it's important to remember as well that on some weeks I do put in optional activities, and I've highlighted as optional activities. They are not a part of your main submission. If you would like to complete them and submit them as well, that's absolutely fine. but the only ones that are required to be submitted are the main activities 1 and activity 2, or whatever it indicates as the main activity within that lab.